Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is, are injuries stopping the Clippers from reaching their full potential? So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Please make sure you hit that notification bell to ensure you get our videos, because sometimes videos don't go out. It happens to other YouTube channels as well. So to ensure you don't miss a video, make sure you hit that notification bell. Also, check out our Dreamerspro Max. Is an online sports community that we created. A place where you can go and start basketball discussions, chat live during games, go live with us after games, consume original content that you're not going to be able to get anywhere else, and do so many other cool things. So if you guys want to check that out, be sure to check that out. We have that linked in the description below. Get 7 days of free access. Again, we got some new members again signing up last night, so that's very, very exciting. So make sure you don't miss out on that. I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy, so make sure you check that out. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. So listen, the Clippers have been playing very well as of late, right? They were just recently on a 6-game winning streak. Just 2 days ago, they had won 6 games in a row, although they lost to the Orlando Magic last night. But overall, they had won 7 out of their last 10 games. So from a macro standpoint, the team has been playing very well, right? One of the reasons for this is their play on the defensive side of the floor. Listen, the Clippers have really ramped it up on the defensive side of the floor. I don't think anyone can question the fact that over this last 6 or 7 games, or over these last 8 games or so, because even though they did lose to the Dallas Mavericks, that game they couldn't make shots, but they still held them to 105 points in that game. They made some shots that they had a better chance winning that game. The Clippers have been playing great defense. Let's just face it. There's no two ways. There's no two ways about it. Over this stretch of, let's say, the last 8 games or so, they've been holding opponents just under 105 points per game. Listen, that's very impressive. That's very, very impressive. If you look at the Los Angeles Lakers for the entire season, and the Lakers are a better team, there's no two ways about it. The Lakers have been playing better defense at a consistent rate all season long. They're holding opponents to about 104 points per game. For the Clippers to be holding opponents under 105 points per game, when in the regular season they've been allowing opponents to score about 108, close to 109 points per game. That's a major drop. That's a major improvement, right? That's a major swing in things. It really means that they picked up their defensive intensity. And I believe it's one of the reasons they've been giving themselves a chance to win these games, right? I don't think you can play great defense and be astonished that you're winning games. You're giving yourself a shot every single night if you play hard on the defensive side of the ball for 48 minutes. You're giving yourself a shot, right? And you've been seeing them winning. You've been seeing them winning games. Even the game that they lost last night, they held the Orlando Magic to, I think, about 103 points per game. Now, some people may say, hey, listen, it's nothing to beat your chest about holding an Orlando Magic team to 103 points per game. But listen, they're still an NBA team. They can still go out there and put up buckets on you, as you saw last night. Kawhi Leonard has also been a major catalyst for the team playing great defense. Over this stretch of games, Kawhi's been averaging about roughly 3 steals per game. 3 steals. That's like almost 1 more steal per game than he's averaging for the regular season. Kawhi usually averages about 1.8 steals per game. That's very impressive. This is from a guy that's already led the league in steals before. So he's been really stepping up, and I think you're starting to see that have a contagious effect on other teammates. Like other members on the team are beginning to pick it up on the other side of the floor as well. They've also had some bright spots on the team with Luke Kennard, who we're seeing like a resurgence of Luke Kennard. At one stretch in the season, Luke Kennard could not even make it on the court because of his unwillingness to shoot. He wasn't aggressive, right? He would get in games, he would be overpassing, he'd be passing up open shots, putting other teammates in bad situations, the shot clock winding down, forcing them to take bad shots. So he kind of worked his way out of the rotation. But as of late, especially in that game when they had to come back against Atlanta Hawks, he earned himself some minutes, and now he's back in the rotation, and he's a very good piece. Just last night, you saw him start the game. Another player that's been a very bright spot for for the Clippers is Terrence Mann. Terrence Mann over this stretch of games is averaging about 13 points per game over this stretch of games. So he's been a very bright spot. But let's face it, the Clippers have been riddled with injuries. Like, there's no two ways to slice it. Serge Ibaka and Pat Beverly have missed all of these games, right? Serge Ibaka and Pat Beverly have missed all of these games, right? Rajon Rondo, since acquiring him, he hasn't played a game yet. I think he's missed 2. It's been 2 games since they acquired him. Yes, they acquired him before the Milwaukee Bucks game, so he didn't play that game, and he didn't play the game last night. But I did see him in the arena. Paul George has missed the last 2 games. Just the game last night, Marcus Morris Sr. missed that game. Last night, the Clippers had to play without Serge Ibaka, Rajon Rondo, Patrick Beverley, Paul George, and Marcus Morris Sr. Like, what do you expect to happen, right? Like, and they're coming off a back-to-back. What did you guys think was going to happen? Like, did y'all think, like, listen, I was watching the game, right? And I was watching the game. The Orlando Magic couldn't make shots in that first half. The Clippers also clanking a lot of shots. If you looked at their shots, a lot of those shots were short. Like, if you look at them, they're always hitting the front of the rim, which usually indicates to me that your legs are not there. If you can't even hit, the front of the rim, or you're barely grazing the front of the rim, sometimes you saw them even like hit some air balls, or shoot some air balls, unless you know that these guys are tired, right? And some people would say, well, why would you be tired? Well, you just came off a back-to-back, right? You came off the back-to-back. In the second game, you're short an additional player. Marcus Morris Sr. played in that game against the Milwaukee Bucks. Marcus Morris Sr. didn't play last night. Didn't even play last night. So Kawhi Leonard was the only starter on the floor, and then you had a bunch of role players. Like, what did people expect? They lost the game. Should they have lost that game? No, right? But it happens. Do I take anything from that game? I take absolutely, positively nothing from that loss. Like, some people want to take something from it. Have at it. If you want to take something from a loss like that, have at it. I kind of wonder what exactly you'd be gleaning from a loss like what. So what's the takeaway from that loss? They're what? They're bad? No, because they just beat the Milwaukee Bucks and it was shorthanded. They only had they were missing 4 key players. They had Marcus Morris. So what are you taking away from a loss like that? Like what's the takeaway? That what? So I take nothing away from that. Some people will, but that's you're free to do as you please. However, listen, the Clippers have about 20 plus games or so before the season expires, right? They have 20 plus games or so, and they're missing a lot of pieces. They've been playing very well. You're seeing them starting to hit their stride, but they need their key players, right? Guys need to start getting some reps together. I've seen Rajon Rondo kind of studying these games, watching him. If you see him, he's always focused. Most of the times, I don't even see him interacting or chatting with other people on the court. I think he's studying the team and seeing the deficiencies where he can help them, which I love. But you need to get him on the court. Now, I heard the announcers who were calling the game say that I think they were in a practice. They saw Rajon Rondo and even Patrick Beverley in the practice. Again, that's great, but what does it mean if they're not on the court? I think they need to get on the court. These guys need to start playing games. I think Serge Ibaka's been out, I think, for at least a week or so. I said he's missed the last 7 games for sure. So they need to get these guys back on the court, and they need to start playing together. I think they need to play at least the last 20 games of the season together going into the playoffs. You need to have some type of continuity. Also, Tyronn Lue needs to understand what are his rotations going to be. Right? It's very, very important. It's critical. Now, injuries, I know, are part of the game. They're affecting so many teams. Look at the Los Angeles Lakers. They're missing their 2 best players in LeBron and Anthony Davis. Look at the Brooklyn Nets. They're missing Kevin Durant. So teams are dealing with injuries all season long. Like, it's nothing new. It's not like it's some kind of new thing. It's not like as if the Clippers are the only one experiencing this. But for the purpose of this video, they need to get healthy. They get healthy, they start playing together, they start getting some reps together, I think they're going to have a very good chance. But with guys missing games, dropping games you're not really supposed to drop just because of a lack of personnel, I don't know what to say about that. So I think health is going to play a very important role in this team's success moving forward. So basically what I want to know from you guys is what do you think the role of health is going to be in this entire equation? Do you think it matters? Do you think, listen, they just need to snap their fingers and go out there and win because they just need to go out and win? Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, it's your Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.